Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on March 24, 2022. US man charged in capital attack gets asylum in Belarus. 1 month on, how a tragedy has unfolded in Ukraine. The Guardian, The Times view on escalations against Moscow, credible deterrence. The Times, 5 things that could happen in Ukraine next. CNN, opinion, Ukrainians believe we will defeat Putin, this is how. The Independent, app photos, 1 month, war in Ukraine rages on, 3M have fled. Machu Picchu, Inca site, has gone by wrong name for over 100 years. Ukraine war, couples bid to make safe home for surrogate mother. BBC, couple forced to leave Ukrainian family in Calais due to refugee system delays. The Independent, Suffolk, Ukrainian volleyball stars wait for UK visa. East Anglian Daily Times, Ukraine, British teacher's wife faces shameful visa wait. BBC, families in fight to get loved ones to Inverclyde from Ukraine. Islands owned by Jeffrey Epstein put up for sale to boost victims' fund. The Guardian, Jeffrey Epstein's Caribbean islands for sale at $125 million. The Times, Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island in Caribbean put up for sale. Russian move on Ukraine aid fails at UN Security Council. Reuters.com, UN to vote on blaming Russia for Ukraine humanitarian crisis. The Independent, UN Council defeats Russia humanitarian resolution on Ukraine. The Associated Press, En Español, diplomatic tit for tat over Ukraine escalates at United Nations. Reuters.com, UN taking up 3 resolutions on Ukraine humanitarian crisis. Republican says Trump asked him to rescind 2020 election and remove Biden from office. The Guardian, Mo Brooks hits back at Trump after he dropped his endorsement, mocking the ex-president's big lie. The Independent, Trump drops endorsement of Mo Brooks' Senate campaign. The Irish Times, representative, Mo Brooks says Trump asked him to rescind 2020 election. NBC News, Trump rescinds Brooks' endorsement in Alabama U.S. Senate race. Zelensky urged Biden against Roman Abramovich sanctions to help with Putin peace talks, report says. The Independent, spare Roman Abramovich from sanctions, he might be the key to peace, says Volodymyr Zelensky. The Telegraph, Ukraine's Zelensky asked Joe Biden not to sanction go between Roman Abramovich. Up to 40,000 Russian casualties in Ukraine, senior NATO official estimates. The Independent, Russia suffering casualties in Ukraine, on scale not seen since WW2. Evening Standard, Russia's Ukraine losses on a scale not seen since World War II, Western officials say. iNews, Russian newspaper blames hackers after Ukraine war, death toll is posted online. The Independent, Russia admits nearly 10,000 soldiers dead and more injured in Ukraine invasion. Russia-Ukraine war, what we know on day 29 of the invasion. Russian diplomat, if NATO threatens us we have the right to press the nuclear button. Sky News, NATO countries set to give Ukraine kit to protect against nuclear and chemical attacks. The Guardian, NATO to send more troops to Eastern Europe as US finds Russia has committed war crimes in Ukraine. Evening Standard, Ukraine war, Russia can never win a nuclear war, NATO chief warns, as Klitschko says Ukrainian troops are regaining territory. Sky News, Zelensky hails Ukrainian fightback as US plans fresh sanctions on Moscow. Biden News, Live, President hails Albright as force who turned tide of history on arrival at NATO meeting. The Independent, Ukraine war, 5 challenges for Biden in Europe. BBC, war in Ukraine, US President Biden to meet NATO, G7, and EU allies to discuss the conflict. Sky News, Joe Biden has yet to show true leadership. China plane crash, cockpit voice recorder analyzed for clues as first victims found. The Guardian, rain halts search operation for survivors in China plane crash. The Independent, China Eastern plane crash, damaged black box found. The Times, explainer, how black boxes of crashed Chinese jet will be handled. Reuters.com, China plane crash, one of 2 black boxes from China Eastern plane has been found severely damaged. Ukraine war, UK to send 6,000 defensive missiles to Ukraine to step up military support. Sky News, UK doubles number of missiles sent to Ukraine ahead of NATO summit. The Guardian, Russia-Ukraine latest news, Boris Johnson pledges 6,000 missiles for Ukraine. The Telegraph, Britain promises extra 6,000 missiles and war funds for Ukraine. The Times, Putin, failing in Ukraine, Boris Johnson says as he promises more arms shipments. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.